Hello, and welcome to Around the Political World with John Rothman. I am your host, John Rothman. If you're a fan of the show, make sure to hit the follow button on the top right of Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening at this very moment. When you hit follow, leave a review or share an episode with a friend. It helps other people discover the show, keeps us going, as I like to point out every single day, it expands our base. What does Donald Trump really believe? On the one hand, he could give an interview suggesting that if he goes back to the White House, he will impose limits on contraception. That's right, birth control. And now, because of the outcry, he's reversing himself and saying, no, I wouldn't do that. But the question is, what does Donald Trump really believe? He stood this last weekend at the National Rifle Association convention and insisted that he will defend gun rights and urged gun owners to turn out and vote for him. And then there was the statement posted on his Truth Social that the far right should coalesce around him, that he's the future. Let me point out to you that these are disturbing patterns, and let me explain why. First of all, I believe that a woman has a right to control her own body. We have witnessed in our lifetime what it means when you make contraception and abortion illegal. We've seen the consequences. And if Donald Trump is going to go back to the White House and implying that he might make contraception less available, that he might impose abortion restrictions, well, let me tell you, that should concern everyone. It's not just a woman's issue. It's our issue, because I believe what traditional Republicans believed, and that is individual rights, individual liberty, less government interference. It would seem that Donald Trump can't quite make up his mind on the question of contraception. So the question is, why? Because he's trying to get votes. That's the reason why. What does he really believe? That's the question that all Americans will have to answer. And then there is the question of gun rights. Donald Trump received the endorsement of the NRA in 2016, in 2020, and he will have it and has it again in 2024. But are we in favor of what the NRA is in favor of, which is no restrictions really on guns? Do we believe that that makes sense as an American policy? And of course, I believe America will say no. And then there's the question of the right wing, the forming around Donald Trump of a right-wing conspiracy to control America. Oh, yes, I just said it. It is a right-wing conspiracy because Donald Trump intends to weaponize the Justice Department, intends to go after his enemies, intends to plan for 2025 to limit the impact of, government standing between the people and liberty. Donald Trump is a conspiracy theorist. That's not who we want in the White House. He is still thundering about the fact that he has been indicted by the Biden administration. And of course, we know now that that is not true. Indeed, Fani Willis was renominated for her position by an overwhelming vote. And yet Donald Trump continues to condemn her and all of those who oppose him, including judges. It's an astounding thing. So let me tell you what my problem is. It is that former President Trump seems to be attracting support when he takes positions that are antithetical to logic, pure and simple. It reminds me of when, at the height of the COVID crisis, he talked about using bleach in your body. Do you remember that? I don't understand why Donald Trump gets a pass on these absurd statements. So as the Republicans focus on 2024, as they move toward the renomination of Donald Trump, and as he decides who his vice presidential running mate will be, we should all be thinking seriously about what a Republican victory in 2024 might mean for every American, man and woman. We need to think about what it will mean for people who believe that we have too many guns, and we need to start thinking about what we can do to limit the damage that has been done in the constant attacks used by those who should not have guns. We'd better start thinking about the implications of a Trump presidency. I say this because I believe that Donald Trump has laid out his path very clearly. He has made clear what he intends to do. Well, what he intends to do, in my mind, is antithetical to what patriots would want. Now, this may sound strange because Donald Trump seems to think he has the exclusive right to deal with patriots. Well, he doesn't. I think those who oppose Donald Trump actively are the true patriots, because Donald Trump is truly a threat to American democracy. This is not an easy thing for me to say. I was a Republican for many years, and I believed in those days that that political party would act in a responsible fashion. What we are now dealing with is a political party that has lost its head, lost its way. And America can't afford to have a one-party nation. So the real point of what I want to say today is Republicans had better wake up. It's not too late. They have to respond. And Donald Trump is an existential threat. Whether we're dealing with contraception, we're dealing with guns, whether we're dealing with the simple idea that he has proposed of coalitions with those who are so irresponsible on the right. That is the real lesson today, at a moment of extreme danger. Yep, Donald Trump is, in my mind, a danger to American democracy. Thanks for tuning into another episode of Around the Political World. I am John Rothman. Make sure to follow along and let me know your thoughts on the show by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts and sharing an episode with a friend or colleague so we can continue to grow and expand. You understand you can interact with me on Facebook and LinkedIn, and I appreciate your comments. And I want to express special appreciation to the wonderful producer of this podcast, Gogo Zoger. She makes sure that Around the Political World with John Rothman is up and running each and every day. Thanks, Gogo, and to all of you, we'll see where we are tomorrow, right here on Around the Political World with John Rothman.